Karibu AMG Realtors. We have specialized in selling of land across the country in areas like Nanyuki, Naivasha, Nakuru, Juja, Kagunda Road, Malindi, and the Abadeas. Contact us today for land investment solutions and have your title deed delivered within 60 days upon completion of payment. SMS AMG to 40299 or call us on +254 748 229 941. AMG Realtors. We don't just deal in land, we deal in value.
Thank you so much. Mark, this is about to be an exciting podcast. I'm so happy to have you here today. How are you?
I'm good, Fabe. I'm really good. It's Friday, and I'm happy for the weekend to spend some time with my family and to be on this show.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. This is exciting because, there's so much, we can talk about in 30 minutes. Yeah. But I think the major part of today's conversation is really going to help people think better. It's a weekend, so everybody's thinking about party, going out, spending time, Netflix and chill, all the good stuff, But all this, at the same time, when it comes back to the next week, how can people prepare themselves for those things and stay balanced?
Yeah. I think the me of 6 years ago would be thinking about parties. Now I'm like, I can't think of anything worse. Get me home, get that door shut, and relax. Times change.
Exactly. So it'd be great for them to know more about you, what you do. Just give us a little background of, what Mark is up to right now.
All right, sure. I'll give you the very quick background. Started in corporate, grew up in the United Kingdom, didn't like corporate, didn't know what I wanted to do. Ended up in Colombia. You can go to that more if you want. Met my beautiful Colombian wife, Paula, 2 kids. Now I'm in Florida. We just moved to Florida and we help small businesses and B2B consultants to ultimately get clients consistently without having to beg people on messages. Hi, how are you? It's nice to meet you. You know what it's like. Hi there. I see we both breathe air. Is literally what I'm seeing on LinkedIn these days. So we kind of help people avoid that.
Amazing.
So the synopsis.
Wow, that's amazing because that is really, that's the goal. That's the driven factor. And that's what people are trying to get to. And that's why they're getting all these messages. So people don't think about the other ways, or they don't think about the disruptive ways of building that relationship.
No, they don't. It's and that's fine. There's no wrong or right. Some people have built successful businesses on that, and I always say I'm not the guy here to tell you that what you're doing is wrong, because what's right and what's wrong is what works. And if it works for you, don't change it. But if it don't, you probably want to change something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's my philosophy.
100%. Because I'm thinking about clients, leads, sales, conversions, all these numbers. People talk about them, but they forget about the human-to-human relationships.
Yeah, they do. Do you want me to speak to that?
I would love to hear what your thoughts are.
I think if we go in our feed, we kind of could easily get persuaded that you have to do human or you have to do automation. I think ultimately everyone has kind of a continuum, and we're all working to this continuum. This perfect personalization takes a long time but gets amazing results. At the other end, this more automation doesn't take very long and doesn't get many results. We all have to find our position on the continuum in terms of what we're able to that's the best way to put it, to do without feeling off, without ruining our brand. And ultimately, I think everyone's building that business and trying to find that place where you don't spend much time and you get the results, versus spending a lot of time and just having no time for anything else. That's what we try and do. We try and find that good place on the continuum where it doesn't take a long time, but equally it's not destroying your brand, your reputation, your business, and people are going to be turning their back on you when you walk in a room if they meet you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we try and do, and it works. It works.
I believe so, because I'm thinking about mixing or blending or integrating family, business, lifestyle. That is a big topic, because we have 1,000 entrepreneurs, we have 1,000 coaches, we have 1,000 leads, but what are we doing with our time and the people that we're spending time with?
Exactly, and we all have our different values, and again, there's no wrong or right. Values and ethics, and we ain't going down that road today, right? But by their nature, they are our own, and I can be right and say something, and you can be right and say something that's different to me, because they're ultimately our own. And my values are, I ain't building a business that doesn't allow me to spend time with family. That ain't happening, and that's my value system. And someone else might want to build a business to buy a Lamborghini, and that's right too. I ain't going to argue with you. I'm just how I've created my business, you know.
That's beautiful, because that is the beginning of building that relationship, you know.
Yeah.
Because if you can't build relationship with your family, how can you build relationship with a prospect, a client, a cold lead, a person, you know?
Yeah. I would take that even further. If you can't build a relationship with yourself, and you don't have a relationship of integrity with yourself, a relationship of health with yourself, it's very difficult to then build a relationship with another human being. And like everything in life, everything starts with ourselves. And I used to be in a place, I think, where I didn't have a good relationship with myself. I used to go out and, funny enough, party and stay out all weekend and look for these escape behaviors, which was drinking, which was social, anything that could escape me having to deal with myself. And funnily enough, at that time in my life, I didn't have a good relationship with others. And I think that there is a pattern. We've got to have that relationship with ourselves in order to be able to have relationships with others. And that's something I've discovered. And I don't want this to become a therapy session, but that's what worked for me.
Yeah,
what worked for you might not. You know? That's
true, because now it boils down to conversations. Because like you just started earlier, you were like, "Hello, how are you?" Some people don't even know how to start a DM conversation. Like they get stuck at hello.
Yeah, it's tricky and it can be tricky, and there is an art to it, and there is a science to it, and some people will just send automation all day, and that's fine. I can't do that. I think that the prerequisite. Let's put it this way: if you want somebody to spend 15 minutes on a phone call with you, let's have a 15-minute virtual coffee, and you can't be bothered to spend 10 seconds looking back to your history, like I did, before this call. I've got it up here. I can see that you did various things before you came to the States. Favor. I can see Nairobi, Kenya. I can see Coke Studio. I can see Fine African Media Entertainment. If I'm going to come on a show, I very much have to at least take that time to find out your background and history before I speak to you. And it's the same on social media. Like, hi, let's have a virtual coffee. I haven't even taken 2 minutes of my life to look at your background, but I still want to speak to you. It's just not congruent. Do you know what I mean?
That is so true. That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? It's there's give and take in life, and you got to give if you want to take. And if you don't agree with what I'm saying, that's cool too. That's just how I feel.
No, that is 100% correct, because now when you think about those relationships, okay, where is the experience? Where can I build conversations from? Because if you just open it's like an interview that you don't know what's going to happen next,
It's true. Everyone wants to give the take, and there's no give. But this is not me. If you look at Tony Robbins and all the great people that understand human behavior, they all they talk about some way, shape or form giving. So are you going to give someone 30 seconds of your time before you ask them for your time? That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
That is deep. Come to think of it, when you think about the time you're spending and you're not asking for anything in return, it's the best part, because you've sowed a seed and you've applied concept.
Yeah. You would be amazed. I mean, we do a lot of LinkedIn advertising, but we also have personalized messaging, which is important. If you take the time to comment on something did 10 years ago, you'd be amazed how much of people will engage, because it's just, there's no one doing it. It doesn't take becoming a master of persuasion and the art of influence to start conversations. It just takes 10 seconds of your life to look what they did 10 years ago and ask them about it. Do you know what I mean? It's that simple.
That's true. That's 100% correct, because that builds that know, like, trust factor.
Yeah, it does. It does. Just have an interest in human beings and you'll build a business. And I can feel that on this show, by the way, and that's why I'm opening up. I can feel you have a genuine interest, and that's probably why you enjoy doing the interviews, right? So I'm just speculating.
No, I appreciate that, because sometimes when people think about podcasting, some people just do podcasting, but podcasting for me is like that vertical that makes it a place for me to connect with people, and we've connected with over 50 plus countries, just on this. So I'm like, what better way, can I invest my time and invest that value in people that can be able to, give that back, because 45 minutes here could save someone 2 hours of research tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm in a mastermind, and the guy always says, he says, all you need is one idea. Everything is one idea. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is one idea. The difference between a successful business and an unsuccessful business is one idea. We just need one idea. And that's it, So hopefully someone gets one idea or something that can help them move forward from listening to this. That's how I always think,
100%. Now, you mentioned one idea. So when I hear idea, I go to Pinterest.
Yeah, oh really? I don't know how to use it. I'm never thinking out Pinterest.
You know what? I was even thinking, as you mentioned LinkedIn ads, I was like, let's do a little bit of some breakdown between LinkedIn ads and Pinterest ads. Because I'm very much into SEO, and that's a whole lot of content marketing, and Pinterest is a strong competitor. So I wanted to know, like, how can we look at LinkedIn advertising and, like you said, build that relationship, because these are ideas that you're, planting and nurturing with.
So the way we do LinkedIn advertising is very different to the way a lot of people do it, and it sounds like you're big on the numbers and so forth and analytics, and we looked at the data.
Okay.
And the data says that people don't spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. In fact, the data says the average time a B2B decision maker spends on LinkedIn per week is like 28 minutes.
Wow.
It's a cup of coffee. That ain't going to get cold in the time that someone spends on LinkedIn. Versus Facebook, you're talking 12 hours, which is enough time to fly from where I am back home to London. Do you know what I mean? And clear passport control. And the way that the ads work, if you've got this level of understanding of SEO, it's just basically supply and demand. It's like at Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's really hard to get an ad to work. Well, it's harder unless you're selling something for Christmas, because there's just so much demand on the platform, and basically what that means, if there's not a lot of people spending a lot of time on the platform, there's a lot of competition. So LinkedIn ads tend to be expensive. So what we tend to do is actually use Facebook at the front of funnel, which is the first point of contact. And we have the retargeting tag, the LinkedIn Insight tag, which just basically means if someone hits our landing page, we can then retarget them. That's how we do LinkedIn ads. So we actually looked at the data and we use Facebook at the front of funnel, which enables the LinkedIn retargeting ads, and to put the ad in front of them when they're on the feed, and it guarantees they see our content. Because to me, like, you either pay with your time or you pay with your money. And I want people to guarantee that people see my content, so I pay with money, and that's how we do the LinkedIn ads. That's
really important, because when I think about Pinterest advertising too, it's the same approach, because you want people to see it. It's an idea, you're inspiring them, you're giving them value, and then you're pouring that information for them to do their own research. So
exactly.
Yeah.
But the overarching theme with any form of advertising is, and even SEO and anything, is you're finding people that are what I call active buyers. I mean, it's called various things. It's the buyers pyramid, whatever. But however you look at it, whatever statistic you look at it, they vary. Only a small percentage of your market is like aware they got a problem and actively looking to solve that problem, i.e. buy something. And that's what all these things allow you to find, and get those good quality inbound leads. Outreach is important, and as we said earlier, it's important to have some sort of strategy around that, but it's harder to find the people that they're actively looking to buy. So it's a longer term grind. I think that's the wrong word, but it's the longer term play. Because if you go to LinkedIn, how do you find someone that's looking to buy something? Because there's no behavioral search. There's no, you can search based on someone being a CEO and living in New York, but that don't tell you anything about what they want to buy. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Unless they actually post on their feed, hi there, I've got my credit card here and I'm looking for an SEO specialist right now in Florida. Please hit my... That don't happen. I wish it did. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you don't message someone, and, well, maybe you do, but it's an edge case. Hi, you message someone, hi name, just saw you worked it. Oh, I'm so glad you messaged. Like, how do I buy? I just looked at your profile and I need what you're selling right now. That don't happen. And if it does, kudos to you, because you figured it out. And contact me if you've got that system.
Because you know, that's so great that you mentioned that, because now I'm thinking, when people are targeting ads, you know, they're like, oh, my ad's gonna see 1,000 people. For me, I'm like, no. Out of 1,000 people, what's your conversion rate? What are the keywords? What is the imagery? What is the message? What is the PR? What is the relationship module? So when they see that differently, they don't think about those things. They're like, oh yeah, we got 7 clicks. And I'm like, those clicks didn't get you anything but just data. You know, but if you can't translate that, you wouldn't know. And why I love Pinterest too is because they, like, out of everything else, they also focus on interest and keywords. Because with interest, if you know, okay, like you just mentioned, if you don't know about this person's interest, if you don't know they like food or they like to go grocery shopping, you wouldn't know those things if you don't know how well the psychographics, you know, work with your demographics.
Exactly, and that's how I've always approached business. And don't get me wrong, I started sales in 2003. I've done cold calling with the best of them for years, and I can still do outbound if I need to. But ultimately, I prefer people coming to me that are actively buying, because people talk about, oh, I don't want to feel salesy, I don't want to feel salesy. People love to be sold to if they're looking to solve a problem. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's nothing to do with what you say. It's who you're speaking to and their stage of awareness. It's really that simple. If you're speaking to someone that's, you know, on the way to the vet because their cat got sick, and you're like, oh, do you want to buy my thing? They ain't going to be interested. Do you know what I mean? They've got other priorities. And the cat, we all know my wife has cats. I'm not criticizing cats. That's how I know how important cats are to other people. And if you're behind the cat, good luck. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It could never work.
That is so true. That is so true, because I'm thinking now about like how that strategy works. Because as soon as you mentioned B2B, I started thinking, okay, when I put my SEO hat on, for example, and I say, okay, the click-through rate for B2B is about 2.2%.
Yep.
And if you're not above that threshold and you're not building relationships, how are you going to bring in that inbound traffic?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You've got to have this. You've got to have a system that works and works consistently. And if you can boil it down to knowing your numbers, or of a better expression, you are in business. I know that I just know that I need a certain... I don't look at lead costs so much when it comes to ads, because I just know I need a certain amount of people on a webinar. So I've got a certain amount of people on a webinar, I know a certain amount will book calls, and I know a certain amount will become clients. So all I look at is how can I fill a webinar. That's it. Those are the numbers that count in my business.
So when you say fill a webinar, what are the layers someone can think about? Because people don't think about the technical and the creative parts.
In terms of the advertising you're talking about?
Yeah.
All right, so we run 2 funnels. The first funnel is we'll run a Facebook ad and then we'll generate inbound connects on LinkedIn. So that will give me their email, they'll give me their SMS, and then there'll be a redirect to a LinkedIn profile, which means I have consistent inbound leads on LinkedIn every day. From there, I want to get 100 to 150 registrations for a live training every week. And I show up on a live training and I teach people, and then I make an offer if they want to book a call. So I just want to make sure a certain amount of people are coming to my world every week. If a certain amount of new people are coming to my world every week, I'm good. What are we paying at the moment? Like $20 a lead or something? That's good for me. That works. I mean, I could probably pay a lot less, but we don't really look at... And this is the important thing. People say, oh, what's your cost per lead? I need a lower cost per lead. When I've gone for a lower cost per lead, I've tended to get people from business opportunity markets, which are people who don't actually have a business. We work with them, but the majority of people we work with have got one step in the world of having a business, and that costs more because they're more educated buyers. So we don't just look at cost per lead, we look at quality per lead. And so it's quantitative and qualitative. You know, you've got to have the right people. If you're selling if you're selling steak and you've got vegetarians coming through the funnel, you're not going to have much joy. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have the right people.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's deep. I love how you put that, because now you're thinking about your profile. You're thinking about how do you stand out? And when you stand out, what makes you stand out? Is it the copy? Is it the verbiage? Is it the color?
Well, yeah, and I think it's even more foundation. That's true, but take it back a step. A message cannot be compelling unless it's specific. A message cannot be compelling unless it's specific. I know exactly who my avatar is, how they think, what they eat, what they like to talk about, what they don't like to talk about. I know the imagery and symbolism they'll respond to. I know if someone comes into my funnel and they wear a suit and tie, this knot up to your neck, right? I'm cancelling that call because nobody buys from me that wears a suit and tie. In fact, is that a thing now? Like, did that go out with the 2 years ago? But I'm like, I used to work in corporate, but if someone's in a suit and tie, they ain't buying from me. I mean, it's just how it is. I'm not that vibe.
Oh my God.
Sorry to say it.
No, this is classic. This is why I love this podcast, because you don't know what's going to happen.
And there's nothing wrong with suit and ties. Nothing wrong with suit and ties. Don't get upset. Don't write to me. It's just not my vibe.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of having your ICA, your ideal client avatar, and people spend time on focus groups on, research and development, but the businesses that are growing, entrepreneurs, they're not really thinking about those things. They're not looking at the big brands and oh, how did they pull this off? But you forgot that they have a strategy that works, like a well-oiled machine.
If you stand for everything, you stand for nothing. And if you stand for everything, your message is not specific. I mean, look, you can be, like, YouTube is great. And the YouTube ads for the various supplements, they will be what I call an every person offer. The market for supplements and improving your health in the United States is massive. The market for what I sell is not. So you've got to know your place. You've got to know who you're talking to and what you're selling, That's
so true. That's so true. And how do you start thinking about the difference between this is a genuine message and this is a funny message? For example, on LinkedIn, you can get a message from someone and you read the copy, it sounds so professional, and then the next message is like an automated text.
I think it, you know what I mean? It's some people get great success with automated messages and they don't care about their brand and they don't, because they're selling what I would call something that's transactional. You sell a bucket of bleach or cleaning product, that's a transactional product. But if you're selling, like one of my clients, Randy, marriage coaching to separated Christian men who want to get their wife back, that's the opposite of transaction, and it's very personalised. He's not going to be like messaging people going, "Hi, name. I was just checking your It's a really difficult message. Like, I was just checking your photos. You look a bit sad, and your wife isn't in them anymore. What's going on?" You don't write that, right? You've got to be very delicate and relational as opposed to transactional. So I think it's important to understand where your service sits on that kind of, again, going to the continuums. Is it transactional? Is it relational? And do what works for you. And do what works for you, and don't listen to people that tells you it don't work if it works.
That's true.
Evidence. And when you receive a message, I was like, how do I feel? How does it land on me? And sometimes, because someone can send me something transactional, they've just done it so well, I'm like, that doesn't feel off. Do you know what? I'm going to learn from this. But sometimes they send me something and I'm just like, that's not good. That's not good, right? You look a bit fat. Do you want to join my executive training? No.
Wow.
They don't say you look fat, but that's how it feels. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's very hard for going off on a tangent. Like I did the other week. I sell training that helps busy executive men lose weight. I'm like, do I need to lose weight? Do you know it landed the wrong way? Right.
Exactly. And people don't think about those intonations, because it's the feel and the reaction you get from, this is a pain point. So you've addressed a pain point, but now to solve it, you have to get that courage and confidence to trust that person.
Yeah, you do 100%. It's all about communication. Is not what you want to say, it's how it's received. And that's what people have to remember.
That's a good one. If there's anything you can tell someone who is thinking about LinkedIn, because right now there's LinkedIn audio, LinkedIn events, LinkedIn creator profile,
Yeah,
LinkedIn jobs.
sorts, isn't there?
Yeah, so, and then there's LinkedIn learning. So how can someone use it and be resourceful and save time?
Yeah, I have. This is an answer. This is a question we get a lot, and I've answered it a lot. And over the years, I've seen this come down to one thing and one thing only: intention. You cannot control how somebody will respond. You can't control people, and if you think you can control people, that's another conversation for another day, right? But you can only take your intention to social media. All the things you've just said, the audio, the creator, they're all tools. They're all tools to connect with other human beings. All you have to have is the right intention. And to me, your intention should be, if you want to build a business, can I help this person? Can I come from a place of wanting to help and support and move this person's life or business forward? And if you do that and do all your communication with that intention in mind, that's all you can do. Some people respond in kind, some people ignore you, some people will hate on you. But if you've gone in with the right intention, you can just hold your head up high and continue doing that every day, and people will respond. It's as simple as that.
Ooh.
Get the right help. Get the right help and know that you position your business in the right way in doing it. But above all, just to say it again, have the right intention. That's all you can do.
That's amazing. And when I think about intention now, there are different ways you can build that when you build relationships online. So from what I see nowadays, just based on being on LinkedIn and seeing what the trends are, it's like polls, carousels, documents, they get more, and of course commenting on people's posts and being, giving your 2 cents. Yeah, it's
true. I mean, I actually spoke about this in the training. The algorithm,
right?
The LinkedIn gods. And I don't actually even teach that in my programs anymore. I literally have a slide. Look, this is about building relationships. It's about communication and intention. If you want the algorithm, if you know what time you want to post, if you want to know how to set up an event, go Google it. I ain't teaching that. This is about how to build relationships. Right? There's so much information available and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's all readily available now. You can Google, within 30 seconds, you can know the exact right time to post, and you can know how the algorithm will respond. I'm not here to teach that.
Right.
That's what I say to people.
And your time is valuable, so you don't even want to waste their time on that.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, if I teach it, it'll be out of date in a month. They'll change something, right? And I'm just like, I have to update the whole video.
That is so true. Come to think of it, someone on Clubhouse, I don't remember what room, but someone was just talking about how because the algorithm changed, he has to change his whole course. And I was like, whoa.
No, I mean, I think there's different levels of teaching. Without going into detail, there's tactical teaching, and tactical teaching is important, but you can get it on Google. Strategy, tactics is what to do, right? Go Google when to post and what time. The strategy is why. And above that, the foundational principles of psychology is understanding human beings. I think programs should be taught at a strategic and foundational level, not at a tactical level. And the tactics are important, but they should be separated out. And the client should be made aware of what a tactic is versus what a strategy is and the foundational principle. And because that leads to them making things work for them. If they're just ultimately following tactics paid by numbers, like what works for me and my personality isn't going to work for them. Do you know what I mean? I've got a certain accent, a certain background, a certain set of collective experiences, and I attract a certain type of person versus them who's going to have another entirely different stories, experiences, beliefs. They're going to have a different vibe, a different personality. So what's going to, and a different type of person they want to attract. So if they copy me, they're going to attract people that are attracted to me. Do you know what I mean? They've got to figure out their own way. Right.
That's 100% true. And thinking is that process that begins with, like you said, investing in yourself, loving yourself, being yourself.
Yeah. I'm big on that. Because it's you. It's you that you need to attract. If you're someone else, you're going to attract that other person, you know?
That is so true. You attract who you attract.
Yeah. We don't get who we want, we get who we are.
Exactly.
A mentor of me once said, and I have to give a shout out to Myron Golden because that's one of his phrases.
That's amazing.
He's a good guy,
That's
check
amazing.
him out if you
Yeah, definitely. That's why I love this podcast, because people hear those little things and like, what did he say? Let me go back 15 seconds because I missed that. Yeah. So it's beautiful how we just connect and build all this together. Yeah. I really appreciate you, Mark, for being here and connecting with us for sure. You know, if there's any way they can reach out to you, because I'm sure they're thinking, okay, now I got all this information and I need to connect with Mark. Where can I go?
I'll tell you, but I first of all want to say thank you for being a great interview and having great energy. I do a lot of these now, and some are good, some are not so good. They all teach you something more valuable. I've really enjoyed this.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, if you want to reach out, www.clientsimpact.com, clientsimpact.com, clients with an S, impact.com. We rotate the free gift, but I can guarantee the free gift will be good. It's usually a LinkedIn process or just an elaboration of something I spoke today. Right now, if you go right now, it's a guide to setting up the whole LinkedIn ads, and we've also got lots of resources around connecting with people on LinkedIn events. I promise it'll be worth your time once over there. www.clientsimpact.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to, bringing you back here again in the new season.
Thank you.